Today, we're doing a French classic that's guaranteed to please.
Reverse-seared strip steaks bathed in garlic and butter.
And what more needs to be said than crispy shoestring fries?
Oh, they are so good, you're gonna wanna pile them high.
Oh man, you had me at steak.
Oh, but then comes along the shoestring fries.
I tell you, that's right. I mean, they are in direct competition for which is better.
I love these things.
They're brilliant.
They're fun.
Fabulous.
Yes.
And they're so good with the steaks. Okay, let's get these going. I'm gonna, first of all, there's a couple of techniques that we're gonna show you how to make these babies super crisp. I've got I've got 8 cups of water that I brought to a boil. This is 2 tablespoons of distilled white vinegar, and this is a tablespoon of kosher salt. The trick there is the white vinegar. I mean, the distilled vinegar. It creates this process that makes them extra crispy on the outside and super tender and soft on the inside.
Look at those little things.
I know.
I love how they're so
small. Talk about those
small.
in just a second. Yeah. I know. They are so fabulous. Let me just set my time. We want them to go for 3 minutes.
You got it. There you go.
So now let's talk about these babies. I'm going to crank up my heat, and we can let them go even a little more than 3 minutes because we want them to get back to a nice, nice boil.
Exactly. Do you want me to salt these up?
Yeah, you talk about that, then we'll talk about the potatoes.
All right, so I've got 2 strips here. I think they're like between 8 and 10 ounces. Don't those look good?
New York strip steaks.
And reverse seared, amazing. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I just wanna get these good and seasoned because we're gonna bake these guys and we want these seasonings to just, what? Why are you always laughing at me?
Really
Stop.
slow.
I just want to make sure.
So we're doing the reverse sear technique, which is basically what you do is we're going to start them off low and slow in the oven. It's the reverse of like what you do like out on the grill or even a skillet. We're going to let them like cook and get to the perfect internal temperature of about 130 degrees. Then we finish them off on like a scaldingly hot skillet with some butter and some aromatics, and it is to die for. I'm killing time
why are you killing the time?
Well, no, I'm not. And, okay, so now let's talk about these spuds.
Yes.
These amazing I mean, these are truly shoestrings, right? They're like the size of shoestrings, and they're just wonderful. But there's a way you do that. You're going to have to, you could do it with a knife, but you've got to have brilliant knife skills to do this. Get yourself an inexpensive mandolin if you don't already have one.
Real quick, I'm going to put these in. We've got the oven going at 225. We're going to let these just roast nice and slow.
We put them on the baking rack over a baking sheet. It just lets that air circulate so they cook super evenly.
Yes, exactly.
That's the key to this, is they're going to cook really evenly.
Oh, so good.
Anyway, so let's get back to these potatoes. So we got our mandolin. We're going to turn it on the juliennes part of your mandolin. Get it on the 1/8 inch. That's for like literally like julienne carrots or something, but it gets them these super skinny potatoes, and they're fabulous. Then we're going to put those in some water, in a big old bowl of water, and then we want to get that starch off there. But this is all in a way to get them super crispy, but yet nice and tender on the inside. I'm going to go over to the sink, and I'm going to swish them around. You'll see the starch come up. I'm going to drain that water out just hold it back with my hand. Do that 2 more times, and then fill it with water. And that you can do up to several hours in advance, okay? And then we drained it, and then we added that into this water. And what that does is, like I said, it's kind of like, sometimes if you've heard of like the 2-fry method, we do that when we're making French fries. It just gets things started.
This is like a parboil kind of thing.
It really is. Yeah. There's a science to all of this. If you like looked it up, you'd see like why it works. But it creates it's going to start to create an exterior that's going to be super crisp when it hits the super hot oil in just a few moments.
Yeah, and I think it's perfect.
Yeah, we're good. That worked out just nice.
That did. Okay. You're so good.
Well, we work pretty well as a team. Okay,
Here,
so now
scooch over and you can start.
Now the other really, really important part of this is you want these babies super, super dry before they hit that oil. That is essential. That's probably, well, everything is pretty important, but that is going to be one of the most important. So you have yourself lots and lots of paper towels handy.
I'm just going to spread those out very carefully. These are hot.
I know they are. So we need to do some more.
Okay, here you go. Put it on there.
Oh, okay.
Put them on top. I'm just going to do like a double whammy.
Yeah, yeah. So get some more paper towels. Have plenty of paper towels on hand because you want to just keep pressing those paper towels.
I got some paper
until
towels.
they're really dried out. And then what we're going to do, and again, like I said, this you can do this part right here. You can do hours in advance before the fry. In fact, I don't know if you mentioned, but those steaks are going to take about, probably close to an hour to get to the right temperature.
I think I said an hour.
Okay,
Yeah.
45 minutes to an hour, and you want to get them to, we're going to do ours medium, maybe a little medium rare, but closer to medium. And that's, we're going to want to get to an internal temperature of 130. And then when we finish them off in the skillet, it'll raise it up to like 135, 140. It'll be perfect. Okay, so we're going to put these now.
Yeah, these are hot, so I'm doing it very quickly.
So we're going to put these on. Wesley's got very tender fingers.
I'm very delicate.
I know. What we've got is a couple of baking sheets with racks here. This just helps expedite the drying process.
Yes.
And you know, like I said, you can do this in advance. Once these steaks come out, we'll have our oil to temperature. We're going to sear them up. We're going to fry them, and then we eat them.
Wait, don't you want to talk about the
Oh, okay.
the
We'll talk
aioli?
about that now.
I'll
You
get
do
these-
that well. So every good French fry needs a dipping sauce, right? I mean, ketchup is great, of course.
This is to die for, y'all.
But this is so good. I mean, this is a kind of a fancy, elevated bistro kind of meal. So why not go the extra mile and make this garlic basil aioli?
Yes.
And it's really cool because your guests are going to be blown away because you're making the mayo from scratch, and it's so easy. The only thing you need is an immersion blender, and again, it's another one of those tools. It's not expensive. But you'll love it. I use it all the time, especially for making mayonnaise. So you're going to want to get just a jar that's about the size of your immersion blender. A mason jar works perfect. And I put in that an egg yolk, a whole egg, and then a teaspoon of lemon juice, a teaspoon of Dijon mustard, a half a teaspoon of your favorite vinegar. I like either white wine vinegar or champagne vinegar is really good. Then we're going to do a half a teaspoon of salt. And then into that, you're going to want to pour a cup of neutral oil. You want to go either with avocado oil is great, grapeseed oil is really good, safflower oil is really good. Don't use anything that's got kind of a distinct flavor like olive oil, because then it's going to taste like that. So then this is where the magic happens. You just gently put your immersion blender in there, and then you turn it on kind of low, and then just sort of like work it up and down. And the next thing you know, you have got homemade mayonnaise that is to die for.
It is so good. It is so good.
And then now, just to turn it into an aioli, which is just like basically infused with garlic, we're going to add 3 finely minced cloves of garlic, and then a 1/3 cup of chopped fresh basil. Stir that around, put a lid on it, and stick it in the fridge for at least an hour, but you can do it, you know, a day or two in advance, and the flavor is...
This is, I love this also on a burger.
A burger. Yeah, it's good on multiple
It's
uses.
like a universal dipping sauce.
It really is. Okay, so
All right, these are good.
We got a little more. Those are good. We're going to let these steaks go, let these dry out, and then we really have fun. Okay, it is time to start bringing this together.
Okay.
So I have got my skillet here. I've got it screeching hot, like 400 degrees.
Wow.
I put 2 tablespoons of, you can do like canola oil, anything, or peanut oil, anything that can handle high heat. So those we've gotten them to about just under 130. Those don't look like they're done yet, but that's because they will. They are. If the temperature, you want that internal temperature to be at 130, and then it's going to continue cooking. So now we've got our oil over here. You want it screeching hot too. We've got it. You want it anywhere between 375 and 400. These babies we've got on our, can you see these? We've got these on our ready to go. You want to bring it all together. We're going to do these, and then we're going to let these rest. And while these rest,
it's so exciting.
It's very exciting. Okay, so now let's just.
There we go.
Hear that sizzle.
Oh,
that's hot.
That's hot. Watch
Yeah,
out.
that is hot. Okay, we're just going to let this literally go for about 60 seconds. It's going to cook it some, but really what we're really wanting to do is just create that crust of an exterior and just sear it and just really, really finish it off.
Wow.
So while we're doing that, let's talk about, so this is compound butter. This is just, it's going to give that fun French bistro flair. All I did was I got 6 tablespoons of softened, unsalted butter. To that, I added 1 tablespoon of finely chopped Italian parsley, what did I do? A teaspoon of lemon juice, and then 1 or 2 cloves that I've minced, and then a pinch of salt and pepper. Just use a fork just to get it all combined.
Just mash it.
Then you get some plastic wrap, just put it in that plastic wrap and then sort of use your hands to create a log, and then you just roll that tightly, stick it in the fridge. You can do that days in advance, and then it melts on top of that steak. It is heavenly.
And this looks good over here.
Okay, so now we're going to, let's see how we're looking. Okay, this is looking good.
I'm all over the place, y'all.
I know you are. It's like you're in the kitchen of the French bistro. You're just not wearing a beret.
Smells amazing.
I know. Okay, so now just before I flip, I'm gonna let you know what we've got here. I've got 2 tablespoons of butter. I've got a couple sprigs of thyme.
All right.
This is some crushed, some garlic that I got my garlic press, and I just pressed it so it's really, really pressed, and it's gonna add some flavor. Okay, we ready to do this?
All right, you're gonna flip.
Ooh, that looks good.
You flip. I'm gonna put in my first batch of fries. Now,
Nice.
Did you talk about how this oil level needs to be low because these things, and you don't want to overload this because that will come flying up at you.
That is super, super important. So Wesley, I need, I just need a spoon. I didn't grab myself a spoon.
You got
so
a
now
spoon?
what that does, I put in 2 tablespoons of, like I said, the butter, and that's gonna melt. Now we're just gonna spoon. Normally,
Is that a good spoon?
It'll work. It'll do.
Oh, that looks good.
Yeah, doesn't that look amazing?
I'm dying right now.
This
Y'all,
is.
look at those
It's
fries.
just that butter. I know how the fries coming.
They're looking great. Now these just stay in here for like 90 seconds.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that literally took about another 60 seconds. That's all. Now we need to let these steaks rest. It's really important. While you finish off your fries, we're gonna let these rest for about, I don't know, maybe 8 minutes. Oh my God, let those juices redistribute. Isn't that incredible?
Look at that. Look at that. Those are perfect. It looks like a bird's nest.
Let's see.
Right there. Can you see it?
I can see the perfect. They're perfect, like a perfect bird's
All right, I'm going to put them here.
So what he said, I just want to reiterate that is super important. You do not want to get your oil level too high, only like a third of the way up, and use a deep vessel. And probably do it best on the stove, because if that does, there is still going to be some moisture that releases, and that makes that oil just want to rise.
And real quick, I just added some salt to this right when I took it out.
Yeah, toss it in salt the second it comes out. Okay,
Yes.
so he's got probably, what, 2 more batches?
I got 2 more batches.
And then we get to eat steak frites. Yay, look at this.
I
Okay.
am mesmerized.
I know, so now I'm
Mesmerized.
going to just cut off a little bit of these steaks, and just, you can do this whatever you want to, but kind of wait till right before you're serving, so it just starts to melt just as your guests are.
Oh, there it is.
To kind of let it melt a little bit. Okay, so now we're
Look at those fries.
Look at that mound of shoestring fries. I'm telling you, if you've never had them like
Right
this,
there.
you may never. Where do you want me to do it?
Right there. Perfect.
Okay. Let me give myself a steak, please.
Here, let's clear this out. Let's put this here so that you have yours.
We've got our aioli. We went ahead and got a little ketchup because you're gonna have French fries. You want ketchup.
I am going to
Pile it on,
them
baby.
on. Look at that, you guys. Look at.
These are so much fun, and they stay crisp forever. Even after they cool off, they're still crispy. That is just like.
Look at that butter, Chris.
I know, it's like butter.
I know. It's like
think
butter.
You need a few more fries. I mean, let's do it the real bistro way.
I love that. I'm sorry. I'm just spreading this butter all up and down my steak.
I know.
You guys. Oh, and those. All right.
I know. We got more. All right, let's go in with.
So my problem is that I always get a giant piece of meat.
Yeah, that's another working title of your memoir. So we're going to start with the steak. It's just pink in the middle. It's perfectly cooked.
Hold on.
How is yours?
I want to cut into the piece. It's so good. Oh, yeah.
So we took it out close to 130. It's going to cook a little more in the skillet.
Oh, I can't stick this much in my mouth. Hold on, everybody.
Well, you're really doing
I'm always. There's this
butcher job over
There's
there.
one piece of
Gristle
right there.
I got you.
All right, ready?
Okay, yeah.
That is.
Reverse-sear is the way to go, folks. All right, we got to get it. Now we got to do these fries. I know. You're in heaven. These are funny. These are not traditional fries, so that you just have to grab them by the bushel, and they're kind of fun to play with.
They are.
Oh.
You can fork them. You can fork them. You can use fork. You guys.
Oh my goodness. That is to die for.
Napkin.
That is, I mean, when we were in Paris, we went to so many bistros. But there was a place down in New York City, a little Paris commune place, and oh my gosh, they had steak frites. That's what you would order every single time.
All the time.
And this isn't this just take you back?
But some places didn't use this nice strip. They used like a
really
hanger steak
thin,
or
like a
something.
thin hanger steak. Yeah, I like going the distance. I also like dipping my meat in the aioli. Of course, why not?
Chris, now I have to do that.
Oh, that aioli.
All right, forget it. I've died and gone to heaven.
Yes, I know. We're all used to it. We're waiting.
This is 1,000,000,000% Luna Prum. It is like my dream come true
is.
again.
It's
more steak and making meat and potatoes.
It's your last meal kind of meal.
Wow, this is like French style meat and potatoes.
It's fun. These potatoes, they probably seem a little crazy to you, but they're so much fun. If you've never had them before, you make them. They're
I love them, and they are addictive.
so good.
Just shove them in your mouth.
All right, everybody. Steak and potatoes. You know where to come if you want some. Make them yourself. We love you guys.
Steak frites.
Wee wee.